welcome back to Muckraker News Network. I'm Don Saylor. Today we'll interview a nature lover and conservationist to talk about a problem that is both very new and very interesting. Talking with us about nature and why we should stop destroying it and help preserve it is back from the dead naturalist and conservationist John Muir. John, thank you for being here in our studio today.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So explain to me, what exactly is happening to nature and what's happening to stop it?
Well, as many of us know, nature is very beautiful. Scenic views and greenery are abundant. Another thing is that there's a lot of forests and other places in nature, so much that we thought it might be limitless. But as we are now finding out that nature is not so limitless, and it's getting misused by people. Waste is being dumped into rivers and mountains are being dug up for precious minerals. We're polluting the air with the smoke from coal-burning power plants. Even overhunting animals. National parks are key to conservation. Our forests are so valuable, it's important that we protect them well.
Well, what are national parks?
That's a good question. Basically, they're big areas of land that are owned by the government. This way, some special pieces of nature are preserved so that everyone can see them. All the animals on the land are also preserved as well. People for years and years can enjoy the beauty that one can experience today, like at Yosemite and Grand Canyon National Parks.
Could you tell me a little bit more about some of the laws that help the conservation effort?
Well, the Newlands Reclamation Act of 1902 enabled the federal government to task water diversion and transmission projects in dry lands in the West. Roosevelt, who signed the act, thought that the land should be usable and settled by farmers, and that the water was rightly for human use. The Department of Agriculture was created during Teddy's presidency, and the U.S. Forestry Service was transferred to agriculture from the Department of the Interior.
So, what role does Gifford Pinchot play in all this?
As head of the Forestry Service, Pinchot supervised use of the U.S.'s forests with the goal of sustained yield.
Well, thank you for talking to me, John.
Always a pleasure.
We'll now fast forward in time to present day 2016 and its ecological problems.
It's 2016 now, a mysterious world of texting and hopefully a great environment.
Not so fast there, Don.
Whoa, who are you?
I'm Bob Joe Smith, professional mudraker. And what is here in the 21st century is even worse in 1900.
Oh no, please explain.
The forests of the world are being destroyed incredibly fast. 20% of the world's oxygen is produced by the Amazon. But in about 100 years, there won't be any rainforest left. Loss of our forests also contribute to CO2 emissions, which lead to rising oceans and melting glaciers.
Oh my gosh, this is awful. Are there any steps we're taking to counter these environmental problems?
The climate talks in Paris in December found 196 countries in the world to a climate change combating plan. But even this may not help. The plan will only limit CO2 emissions by about half of what is needed.
Is there any course that you would suggest that would help preserve our forests and our world?
I can suggest increased vigilance by the governments of the world against illegal forestry and stricter laws about CO2 emissions.
Bob Joe, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thanks you, John.
Thanks to Bob Joe Smith and John Muir for their time.